Hello there and welcome to my inner child check-in pick a card reading. If you're trying to connect with your inner child, you want to figure out what's going on with her or him, or really just kind of you're new to the idea of your inner child and connecting with them, period, this is going to be a good video for you. We're going to meet them, figure out what's up, figure out what they want. What are they trying to tell you? What are they trying to feel? Honestly, I'm going to kind of wing it. We've got pile number 1, 2, and 3. On the left is an oracle deck. In the middle is the Morgan Greer tarot deck. And on the right is the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Please check out the timestamps below and skip ahead to where you'd like to go. Pause the video if you need to. And I guess we're gonna get started, y'all. So if you chose this deck right here, this oracle deck, this is gonna be your pick a card reading for your inner child. Let's meet your inner child real quick. Let's see, let's get a little introduction going. How does your inner child like to introduce themselves? Fruition, patience, and change. Your inner child seems pretty mature, I would think. Oh, that's 37, 36, 35 as well. That's interesting. So I feel like your inner child is weird. Your inner child is kooky and out there and kind of reserved. With this patience card over here, I also kind of get the feeling that there's that outside looking in energy, that you've got all of this going on, all this crazy, kooky, fun shit. But at the same point, your inner child was kind of removed for it. Maybe, I don't know, it's kind of like, you ever met a Capricorn kid who's like 84 years old by the time they're 2? Like, that's kind of what I get, but like, you're not 84 on the inside. And I feel like your inner child wants to break out, wants to bust free, wants to show the world who it really is instead of hiding. How does your inner child feel right now? I guess I can shuffle on camera. How does your inner child feel? Oop, I don't know what that was. I couldn't see. Hunger and action. Okay. Your inner child is hungry for change, hungry for action. They don't want to sit around. They want to do something. They want to go, 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 go. I don't know if you lacked action as a child, if you were maybe kind of, maybe you were kind of forced to be on your own, or it was a choice. Look at this lone wolf here. That's individual, that's cut off, that's maybe not necessarily a lot of friends. Not saying that you didn't have any friends, but that, you had a very small circle, a small wolf pack, if you will. But again, I see so much. Your inner child wants to be something else. Your inner child is hungry, just hungry for change, hungry for action, hungry to do stuff. Like, I don't know how else to put that. What does your inner child need from you right now? What does your inner child need from you right now? Oh my goodness. Abundance. Your inner child needs to know, or it needs you to know, that you're enough and that you have enough and that things are safe. You don't need to be living your life scared. Oh man, we've got 38, 7, 6, and 5 over here. I didn't even do that over on purpose. Your inner child really wants you to step into your own power and understand that you are the one that needs to be able to provide these things. I feel like when you were little, you expected there to be someone who could fix things for you, who could be this catalyst for change, who could bring you out of your shell, who would bring you into their friend circle, who would ask you to do things, to invite you to do things. And that didn't really happen for you. I'm sure it bummed you out a little bit, but things are different now. Things are so very different now. And your inner child wants you to know that you are the one who can do it, who should do it, who will do it. There's beauty all around you, and it's time to let the beauty that's on the inside come out. There's something here with intuition. I don't know, something with your head. I feel like you had a lot going on when you were little, as far as maybe being in tune with your own intuition, with any sort of set of gifts that you may have. And that you lost it over the years of pushing it down and keeping it to yourself. You kind of forgot that you had it. You got to remember that you have it. What messages does your inner child have for you right now that'll help click things into place? This is going to be a short one, guys. I had my wisdom teeth taken out today, 3 of them. So my mouth kind of hurts. So I feel pretty good, but I don't want to push my luck and talk too much. So we're going to get this final message from your inner child. What do you need to hear most right now from your inner child? What's going to be that resonance that slaps you in the face and hits it home? What do you need to hear from your inner child? What message do they have for you? For this group number 1. Ooh. Growth. Well, that's beautiful. I want to get one more just for the aesthetics of it all. Growth. You're doing a great job. You've come so far. You've come so far. Oh, and you're about to go so much further too. Okay, you need to really examine your heart chakra right now. Examine your beliefs around love, self-love, familial love, friend love. Really examine your relationships that have followed you all the way from childhood, and really look and see how much that you've grown, and release all the stuff that's kind of holding you back and tying you down, because this beginning right here, once your inner child really wants you to know that once you see yourself for who you are, and once you really start to integrate, I keep wanting to say her, if it's him, I'm so sorry. It keeps wanting you to integrate her into your existence and your reality and make it a part of who you are, make it a part of that growth. Bring the fresh innocence, the new set of eyes, the imagination that you used to have. Bring it with you with all of this change that you've done, when all these old mentalities that don't serve you, the fears of lack, fears of poverty, fears of being alone or abandoned, once you get rid of all that and reintegrate all that beautiful stuff that you had going on when you were an inner child, that's what they want right now. They want so badly for you to bring them in there, and they want that change. They want to take action. They want to be a part of that growth, so that your inner child can be completely with you for this new beginning. Because once you start and you step through that door with the knowledge that you finally have, that you've kind of been pushing away for so long, it's been there the whole time. It has been there the whole time, and things are about to go wild for you. So with your inner child, group number 1, you got to do some stuff. It's integration. It is all about integration. You need to bring them into your life again. You need to start looking at the world with that childlike innocence and apply the lessons that you've learned along the way. And that's going to be your first step. I feel like your inner child has a lot to say, but you're going to get messages from your inner child when you're moving, when you're dancing or singing, or even just daydreaming. Even if you're daydreaming about doing these fun things, that's when you're going to be most connected to your inner child. So sing, dance, have fun, throw on your favorite song from when you're a kid and dance. Just have at it. And that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If it resonated, please leave me a like or a comment letting me know how. I'd appreciate it if you wanted to share it around. If you don't, that's cool too. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that for more pick a card readings. I'm going to be focusing a lot on healing work, inner child work, and releasing blockages. That's another thing that I'm really gonna be focusing on soon. But that's all for me. Bye. All right, group number 2. If you chose the Morgan Greer tarot deck right here, then this is gonna be your reading. We're gonna check in with your inner child. It's gonna be kind of short, not too long, just gonna get a couple questions in there, figure out what's going on. I had my wisdom teeth taken out today, so I'm feeling good right now, but I don't wanna push myself and be miserable tomorrow. Let's get an introduction to your inner child. Let's allow him or her to introduce themselves. Well, that came out first. Your inner child has a lot to say in their introduction. All right. Get that tourmaline out of the way. All right. So your inner child I feel like there's a disconnect with parents. Either you were quarreling a lot with your siblings or quarreling a lot with your parents. They don't feel like they get the recognition that they deserve. Your inner child doesn't feel seen, not all the way seen. There's glimpses here and there that people have gotten of your inner child over the years, but largely you fight off people. Your inner child very much keeps to yourself. Are you a Scorpio? Do you have Scorpio in your chart? This is what this feels like. This feels like a very scorpionic child. Pushing away people, not getting close, not allowing people to get close. The only people who really get close are the ones who force themselves in. But the ones who force themselves in are the ones who we have the greatest potential for love or to get hurt from, in my humble experience. So your inner child, I feel like polite, compliant child, at least on the outside. I feel like there's a lot of inner turmoil, but on the outside, very, very put together, very, very polite, very compliant. I don't know how I feel about that. Compliant children are pained children, I've found. Okay, let's figure out how your inner child feels. Ooh. Okay, this is too many. I'm actually going to put all these back because it's intensely too many cards, but we're going to take a look just to see if any come back out when we reshuffle, to see if there's any super important ones here. A lot of wand energy. Okay, lots and lots of wand energy here. You're probably a very creative child. How does your inner child feel? I'm going to shuffle some more. Okay, there we go. 3 cards is nice and good enough. All right, again though, I feel like your inner child feels very reserved, shy. Your inner child feels very shy, down and out a lot. I still feel like you're very creative, but you're afraid to show people. Your inner child was afraid to show people who they really were and how creative they actually were. Very caring though, very caring, kind, understanding. I feel like because of this tumultuous place that I want to say that your inner child largely existed in, you learned to love people in a completely different way. You learned to really love people based more than on what they showed you. You've got a knowing. You just have a knowing. I really enjoy this energy. I really enjoy who your inner child is. What does your inner child need from you right now, though? What can you help your inner child with? Ooh, okay. The moon. Let's get at least one more. Temperance. All right. For aesthetics, can we get one more? Page of Cups. Okay. Your inner child needs you to dig in. you've got to get to know her. You've got trauma to unearth. Your inner child is hurt and upset, and as a result, you've probably taken on way too many things that serve other people and have kind of left you high and dry and out in the cold. And that weighs a person down. That weighs a person down so much. You've become completely disconnected from your emotions. You know that they're there, but they're just shrouded in secrecy. You don't know what they mean. You just know that they're uncomfortable and you don't like it. But in order to fix that, your inner child really needs you to just look inside and start to get to know your feelings. One of the ways that you can do that is really just evaluating what happened. A lot of things that our inner child needs from us is sometimes just as simple as acknowledging that things happened, acknowledging that they're not crazy, acknowledging that you do have a right to feel a certain way. Because when we're a kid and something happens, it can be something that's, if it happened to us and as an adult, it'd be largely irrelevant. It wouldn't be a huge big deal. But to a kid, they don't have that knowledge and that understanding and that knowing that we get the wiser we get. And when things hurt, all we know as children is that we don't want that hurt anymore. And so we work around it. We do things to avoid that hurt. And then eventually, after so long of doing that, we don't even know that we're doing it anymore. And things have been completely shrouded. Things aren't what they seem. The balance of it is gone because we're living in a survival mode without even knowing that we're in survival mode. It's really uncomfortable. So dive into your past. Dive into things that happened that hurt maybe. Whenever you see, the best way to do that, I found, whenever you see something in your life that's undesirable, when you see something that doesn't make you feel good, when you see something about yourself that you don't like, start from there and work your way backwards. I had some intense revelations yesterday. I was watching Roseology, one of her astrology videos for the month of March, what's going on with all the transits and things. And she triggered some deep stuff in me that I haven't thought about in years, about like fears of abandonment that I've had that I haven't even realized. The reason that I make the decisions that I make and I wind up in some of the situations that I wind up in is because I've had this fear of abandonment. I fear that when someone comes into my life and I enjoy them, if they leave, they're gone forever and there's going to be nobody else like that ever again. And that's just simply not true. So going backwards, I was able to find something and latch onto it. And you can do that too. That's what your inner child wants you to do, is to look, to take the veil off, to see things for what they really are. And let's get a message specifically for you from your inner child. We're gonna go until it's aesthetically pleasing. Okay, see, that one came up again. That's why I'm glad we looked at it. All right, so a message from your inner child. You have got to stop trying to balance everyone else's needs before your own, because that's what's holding you back. You're stuck in a place where you can't go to where you want to go. You keep feeling like you're down and out, like things are just way too fucking hard. Like you can't win. You know where you're going and you know how to get there, but it's like you've been walking for 1,000,000 years and it's just not getting any closer. It's like trying to walk and it's like you're trying to walk towards the horizon. You'll never reach it. The horizon is always going to be there. And your horizon of healing, if you will, you're never going to get there if you're so focused on keeping the balance externally, when the real balance that you need comes from internally and from breaking all these bonds that you've allowed yourself to get tied up in. Some of you put yourself in those bonds, but a lot of you have really been living with this shit for fucking ever because you thought you had to, because you thought that there was no other way. You thought that that's what life was. And that's what happens when we're kids, y'all. You just don't fucking know. I don't think your parents had a really good relationship. If they didn't have a super volatile relationship, they at the bare minimum did not see eye to eye, and they did not give you a healthy example of what peopling is supposed to be, of what love and relationships and partnerships is supposed to look like. Instead, you got this weird, passive, aggressive, unfair upbringing, and you probably tried your damnedest to keep that peace and to get everyone around you to see eye to eye, to chill everyone the fuck out, to balance those scales. You are imbalancing yourself, trying to balance out everyone else. And the only way that you're going to be able to move past that and cut through all that bullshit and get to where you want to be, you're going to have to unburden yourself. Travel backwards and unburden yourself from all these negative belief systems that revolve around keeping other people happy and keeping other people's balance, because as a result, you are so off kilter right now. That's what I've got for you, pile number 2. I hope that resonated for you. If it did, I would greatly appreciate it if you could like, comment, and or share whichever one or combination of the 3 you feel like doing. If you're not subbed already, go ahead and subscribe for more pick a card readings that are focused on things like healing and inner child and zodiac general shenanigans. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. All right, last but certainly not least, we've got pile number 3 with the classic Rider-Waite Tarot deck. If you chose this deck, this is your reading. We're going to check in with your inner child. See what's going on. What do they want to tell you? What do they need to know from you? Nothing too in depth. I did just have some wisdom teeth surgery. I don't want my mouth to start hurting a ton tomorrow. And I can't take more medicine for 2 more hours. So we're reaching the end of the road here. But I'm going to do more inner child stuff. This is just kind of a, like we talked about before, a little introductory to your inner child. Oh my goodness. See, I can't even talk anymore. Introduction to your inner child. Introductory tarot. I don't fucking know. Let's see what your inner child has to say as an introduction. Let's let your inner child introduce themselves to us. Any more? I'm really just, y'all, I'm drawing for the aesthetics, okay? That's what I did the last pile. That's what I'm doing in this pile. And 4 cards seems right to me. Your inner child is a runner, does not want, like, this is heavy, but it's kind of fun. This is just like a big nope pile. Like, I don't want it, don't like it, don't need it. Your inner child is not afraid to move the fuck on, to move on. Your inner child is afraid of making tough choices, though. They're not a decision maker. They would rather just go to the next thing than actually make a decision. Not sure why that is. Maybe you moved a lot as a kid. Oh yeah, I think you moved. There was either one significant big move that maybe fucked you up a little bit, or you were constantly moving, constantly having to leave behind the things that you loved, which also fortunately did mean leaving behind things that you didn't love, but you were always just kind of expecting to not be there anymore, expecting new things. And as a result, it made you super wishy-washy in order to, like, when it comes to tying yourself down to things, you don't want to get attached. You have attachment issues because you always wind up having to leave the things that you know. So that's your inner child's introduction. We got a mover and a groover. What what does your inner child feel like though? Let's see how they're feeling. Okay. They feel like they can take on anything though. Your inner child, maybe it didn't fuck you up maybe it did. I don't know. It either fucked you up or it didn't fuck you up. I could be projecting. But your inner child feels very secure, very home-based. And that makes sense too. If you really were moving around a lot or you moved away from something when you were younger, you drew strength from your familial unit because it's all you had. What you had is what you took with you, and you really embrace this. Change doesn't fuck you up as much as it should, as much as you think it does even, or even as much as maybe other people think. I want one more for how they feel though. I want one more. Oh, I got a couple more. Well, fuck my aesthetics, I guess. We'll just shift all this around. So we got the 6 of Pentacles and the Tower. It does rock your world, but your perspective is it's good. It's what's gotten you through. You understand that home is where the heart is, and that you're blessed. You're blessed to have this family unit, because even though you move around a lot, even though the energy changes a lot, even though there's some sense of instability around your inner child's existence, you find strength in whatever stability you can find. You really lean into it, and you really lean into the change as well. You understand that when things are tough, that is not the time to wallow. That is the time to give back, to do things that make you feel good, to accept the love and support that your family has to offer you, and to really just lean in on it. You've got a family. You know that there's love. You know that wherever you go, you bring your foundation with you. Wherever you go, you know you can build something up. You get a little caught up when it eventually comes crumbling down, but it's not a huge thing. I don't feel like. I really don't feel like this doesn't feel too negative, honestly. I don't know. Let's see what your inner child needs from you right now. What can you do to help your inner child out? What do they want from... Ooh, okay. We have the Fool come out. We got the Sun. And what's this one over here? The Emperor. Okay. They really need you to start taking charge of your life. I feel you need to channel your inner child, because I think what I was picking up on the being all fucked up, you're fucked up now. You weren't fucked up about it then. Back then, when you had to leave everything behind, you were able to, and you were able to get that good energy going. It wasn't a huge thing, but that took a toll on you. Being so open and understanding for so long about that really took a toll on you, and now it scares you. You're over it. You're sick of it. You don't want it to happen anymore. And as a result of that, you're not taking new adventures. You're not going out and getting what you want. You're not being assertive. You're not standing up for the things that that you want, that you know, you're kind of retreating away from yourself. It's like you've forgotten that you're the stability, your surroundings, your people, your jobs, your environments, your state, your city. That's not it. You're it. You're the thing that brings the foundation. You're the thing that makes it happen. There's a lot of 4 energy here. Okay, not a lot, but we've got the 4 of Wands right here is upright along with the Emperor, which is the 4th major arcana card. And then we've got that one upside down, the 4 of Swords. Oh my God, bless my heart. That's the 6 of Swords. I'm dyslexic and Roman numerals are hard. All right, so we've got 2 4s, but we also do have 2 6s. Just rattling numerology stuff at this point. Sorry about it. But anyways, your inner child really wants you to find that sense of adventure that you don't have because change doesn't excite you anymore. I don't think. It's like change worries you. And you don't need to be worried about it because wherever you go, you've got things covered. You are in control. You bring the stability. Home is where the heart is. You're the heart here. That's all there is to it. Let's get a final message from your inner child. What does your inner child need you to know that's gonna just slap you in the fucking face and kickstart all your shit? Page of Cups. Let me get. Ooh, and Ace of Cups. I want one more. Oh, of course. I say I want one more and I get a million more. The Hanged Man. Page of Swords. I got one more here on the floor. And the 2 of Wands. All right. Your inner child needs you to get going. Quit focusing so much on your feelings because your feelings right now they're not right. Something is off. It's anxiety or it's worry. You're not looking at things the right way. You're doing like what we talked about before over here. You're looking at change from a place of fear. You're not confident that the things that you put out are going to come back to you. If you love it, let it free. We've all heard that. And that doesn't just go for specific things. It goes for ideas. It goes for people. It goes for money. Anything that we hold on to tightly, it's gonna leave. Anything that you hold on to too tightly will leave you. You need to let energy flow, and you need to understand that you are worthy and capable of getting the things that you want. And just because you feel shitty about something or you feel scared doesn't mean that there's any basis in reality. You've just got a winky wonky opinion on it all. Look to your history. Look at what you've been through. Look back to where you've been so that you can feel more confident in where you're going, because there was once a time that you were in such a wildly different place that you probably never could have imagined in a million years that you'd wind up where you are today. But you've got to remember that. You've got to go through and get that perspective back so that you can understand that there's not anything to be scared of. Don't be afraid to start something new because it won't work or you'll lose what you have. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, because anything that you lose, you lost it for a reason so that there could be room for more. Just like before, when you were a kid, when you lost things when you were a kid, you didn't just lose the thing. It kind of changed into a different thing. It didn't change physically. I just mean it morphed, okay? You went from this to this. And when you were a kid, you were here. When you're an adult, now you're here. I don't know. I'm babbling. But that's really the essence of what your inner child wants you to understand, is that you have all of the power. And the only reason that you are allowing yourself to be afraid of growth and expansion and change is just because you've got your perspective all out of whack, which is probably from you never just acknowledging that it was really hard as a kid having all this constant change. Kids need stability, y'all. Kids really do. And you were brave enough to make your own stability through all of this chaos, which is wonderful. It's good that you were able to do that, but it's over now. And you need to go and readdress all those things and understand that you might just have to admit that it took a toll on you and kind of just recenter yourself and refocus all of that energy into a hopeful place rather than a helpless place when change is happening. So that's all I have for you, group number 3. I appreciate you sticking around this long. If this message resonated, I hope it did for you. Leave a like, a comment, or share, whatever you feel most compelled to. I appreciate it all. If you're not already subscribed and you enjoyed the reading, you need more like this, please give me your subscription. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day.